Hi there, this is Loren Fogelman, your business success coach with businesssuccesssolution.com. I am talking about why you want to go ahead and stop competing on price. It's actually not the best way to go ahead and earn income for your business, especially if you are a high achieving, go-getting entrepreneur. You want to make a difference for your clients. So what I want to show you is that competing on price is, yes, the most popular strategy. When you're first starting out, you might go out and see what other people that are doing something similar than you are charging. You'll find the low price, you'll find the high price, and then you'll choose something that's in between that range. When you're first starting out, it might be towards the low end or maybe the middle, and you hope that you get it right. Well, I just want to let you know that pricing for your services is an art, and that your income actually grows when you choose to stop competing on price. That's not what's going to help make a difference. What you want to look at is a concept called value-based pricing. And value-based pricing has to do with the difference you make for your clients. It's based upon how you help them achieve a particular outcome or solution. So I want to start off by telling you 5 reasons that competing on price just doesn't work, and some of the things that it overlooks. So the first thing is that competing on price overlooks your expertise. The more knowledge you gain isn't necessarily going to be reflected in what you're charging for your clients, because you're trying to stay within an industry average. You're trying to be average when you might be exceptional. You might not fit into the average box. So the first thing has to do with expertise. The second thing has to do with urgency. What I mean by that is every now and then you're going to have a client come to you and they're going to need something very quickly or right at the last minute or with a short deadline. And I want to say that sometimes that means moving things around in your schedule. It's inconvenient for you because you have things planned out. You have to make room for it. Now, does your pricing actually reflect that urgency? It's similar to when you have to fly somewhere. The earlier you buy your tickets, the less the price is for a seat. When you're trying to buy a ticket to get out the next day, you're paying a premium price. You might be paying first class rates for sitting in coach class because there's that urgency. You have to do it right away, and there's only a couple of seats left. So you really want to make sure that you do that. So being able to adjust your price when there's a short deadline, there's urgency, is something that doesn't happen when you're competing on price. The other thing is going to be number 3 is limitations. Sometimes there's only just a certain amount of quantity involved. That includes hours also. It might be a limited quantity as far as particular products, program, service. It also limited quantity as far as your availability. When that happens, you can charge a higher price when there's that limited quality and somebody really sees that as being necessary for helping to advance their business, helping to resolve a particular issue. The fourth one has to do with complexity. How difficult or complex is the particular job that you're going to possibly be taking on? If it really requires some out-of-the-box things, there's some things you have to do that you don't typically do for other clients. You might be the only one that specializes in this and has that area of expertise. Then that has value. You can go ahead and adjust your pricing according to complexity. And the 5th reason why competing on price doesn't really work and it overlooks some things has to do with the benefit. There's something special that you offer that your clients really value. And by focusing on what it is that they really care about, you helping them to resolve a situation or achieve something has a lot of value and benefit to them. So it's not just about the work you're doing here and now, but what about the lifelong benefit or the secondary benefits? So those are some of the reasons why competing on price doesn't work. It overlooks these 5 factors of expertise, urgency, limitation, complexity, and benefit. So what do you want to do? You want to go to value-based pricing, which has you stop competing on price. And I want to give you those 5 steps to get started with that right now. The first one is discover. Discover what matters most to your clients. What do they really care about most that you're able to help them resolve or you have the solution to? That's the first thing. The second thing is develop. Now that you know what your clients really care about, develop fantastic questions that you can ask that's going to help to uncover the heart of the problem. This might have to do with motivation of the person that you're speaking to. What are some of the challenges that they're having? What are some of the numbers? How is it affecting income, or how is it affecting something else, results in some way? See if you can get the numbers for that from them. What is the value to them, the perceived value of being able to resolve this? And what is the consequence if nothing changes? So the first step for being able to do value-based pricing and stop competing on price is discover. The second one is develop, asking fantastic questions. The third one is decision makers. You want to speak directly to that person who makes the buying decision. That is the person you want to get in front of, because if you're speaking to other people but they're not making the buying decision, they're not going to be able to convey the value of what you have to offer as well as when you're able to convey it yourself. The messengers just don't do it as good as you do. So see if you can always get in front of that decision maker, that person who's making that buying decision. And then step number 4 is being a detective. Being a detective means being able to really pay attention to the answers from those great questions that you're asking. This is about listening more, talking less. Actually, when I'm working closely with a client on how to really get those conversations that lead to getting those juicy clients, being able to shorten the sales cycle, I encourage my clients to actually be listening about 80% of the time. That means they're only talking 20% of the time. They're asking great questions, but they're great at doing that detective work. And that's something that I really encourage you to think about. If you're speaking more than 70% of the time during a consultation, you're actually focusing more on you than you are on your potential client. And the last thing about how to be able to switch over into value-based pricing and why it makes a difference is being able to describe. Practice explaining the value that someone gets from working more closely with you. Be able to articulate that, the difference you make, the results they'll get, how that's going to make a difference. And also, once again, the consequence of not doing anything and why you happen to be the ideal solution for them. So those are the 5 things to really help shift over into value-based pricing, is to really discover what matters, to develop fantastic questions, to talk to those decision makers that make buying decisions, to be a detective, to be able to listen more and talk less. That part is golden. And then the 5th one is to describe the value that you offer, to educate, to be able to articulate it. And I'd love to hear from you about what is the value that you offer. How would it be for you if you stopped competing on price and really priced according to the difference that you make for your ideal client, being able to really focus on that value and that benefit that you offer? I would love to hear what's coming up for you. And if you're interested in how to get paid what you're worth, go to my website, businesssuccesssolution.com/worth. Go ahead and click the button, put in your name and email address. Immediately, you'll get my free book, Get Paid What You're Worth. I love to hear your posts. If you got value from this, please go ahead and click the share button. Loren Fogelman, businesssuccesssolution.com, where growing your business is my business.